Hey guys, Chase Arevalo here, and in this video, I'm going to break down for you the technical foundations of your forehand so that after this video, you can have the same biomechanics and hit the same checkpoints as the top ATP players. All right, there's a lot of things on the forehand that you can personalize, right? And that you can make specific for your body, okay, based on the individual athlete. Okay, but there are a lot of biomechanical markers that you can check for that all the top pros basically hit. Okay, so let's get right into it. All right, so now when you're watching this video, the first thing that you need to establish, okay, we're going to do a quick grip check, okay, just to make sure. All right, so to understand the grip, here's what I want you to do. So when you look at the racket here, all right, there are a bunch of bevels. Okay, so if you start on the top, okay, that's going to be bevel number 1, okay, and then you're going to go clockwise, okay? So you're on the top, that's bevel 1, okay? Now, bevel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So the top one is 1, the second one is 2, the third one is 3 here, okay? So we're going to focus on where we're going to put our index knuckle, okay? So we're going to put our index knuckle on the not 1, 2, 3, not 4. You're going to put your index knuckle between bevels number 3 and 4, okay, so that you have a semi-western grip just like this, okay? It's very important that you have your index knuckle at least between bevels number 3 and 4, okay? So you can do everything that I'm about to explain to you with an Eastern grip, okay, which would be the index knuckle on the third bevel here, okay? You can totally make that work, all right? But if you want to optimize your biomechanics, okay, and optimize the biomechanics to hit the ATP checkpoints, it's going to be a lot easier with a more semi-Western grip, okay? So, all right, guys, now let's get into the next component, all right? So once you have that grip, okay, semi-Western index knuckle on that third bevel, then you have to set up correctly, okay? So how do you set up correctly for the shot and for the forehand, all right? So first things first, when you're preparing, wait with your forehand grip, okay, in your right hand, all right? For lefties, your left hand, all right? I'm a righty. So I'm going to keep my racket in my right hand. My left hand, I'm going to keep it either on the handle right here, okay, with a backhand grip, okay, or I'm going to hold it on the throat of the racket, okay? Now, those are kind of the two options for you, all right? Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to split step with a wide base, okay? It's not even a split step, it's a split jump, okay? So you should be actively jumping into the air, okay? You should be actively jumping into the air, okay? And then right when you touch down your feet and you touch the ground, okay, this is what you're going to do. So you split step, you see your opponents hitting it to your forehand, okay? Now your brain is saying, okay, now I got to set up. Now I got to set up on that forehand, okay? So now you split, you have your hand on the backhand grip with your left hand. Now what you're going to do, right after you split and you see it's going to your forehand, you split, you put your hand on the throat of the racket, okay? And you're going to go elbows up. Okay, so look at this position here. Look at the space. You can almost fit a beach ball, okay, in the middle here, okay? So with your elbows, you want your left elbow to be almost at a 90-degree bend here, okay? Hold the throat of the racket just like this, okay? Copy this finger position here. Look in your own video. See if you can replicate this holding position with your left hand, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to split step with a wide base with your feet a little bit further than shoulder width apart. You don't want to be too narrow here, okay? You're probably making that mistake right now, okay? So widen your stance a little bit, all right? Now you split. You see the balls go into your forehand. You split before you even turn. Elbows up. Elbows up. Look at my right elbow. Elbows up. Okay? Now, the right elbow doesn't have to be as high as the left elbow. You see how my right elbow is a little bit lower? Okay, it can be a little bit lower. There has to be an angle here, okay, of at least like this amount right here. okay? The angle that you have here should either be here or a little bit up higher, okay? The more modern players, the more advanced forehands, the most biomechanically efficient forehands, all right, are always going to be a little bit more up here in this range, okay? So when you split step, you're going to go elbows up, okay? Then you're going to turn and you're going to set up your shot. So we still haven't even set up and gotten set on the forehand yet, okay? So you're going to split step, elbows up, okay? Then all you're going to do is you're going to turn your shoulders, which is the number one thing you need to focus on your forehand. You're going to go elbows up, and then you're not going to turn with your arms going back like this. You're going to split step, you're going to go elbows up, and then you're going to turn from the shoulders. You're going to turn from the shoulders, just like this. So you split, elbows up, then you turn your shoulders as such. Notice how I'm not changing my arms like this. I just split, elbows up, and then I turn my shoulders, okay? I turn my shoulders, trying to elbow somebody behind me, just like this. Look, boom, boom, boom. Okay, if you've ever watched UFC, sometimes they do a move like this, where they're here and then boom. All right, it's the same thing with this. All right, so you're going to split step, elbows up, and then you're going to turn your shoulders until your left shoulder blade faces directly forward to the camera, okay? So if you're practicing this at home, have the camera either in front of you like this so that you can see when you're hitting the ball if you're actually turning enough. Most players, they're going to be too forward facing with their chest, okay, which is going to make sure that the shoulders and chest open up too early, okay, and your head might move as well. So you really want to make sure the number one thing on the forehand that you can apply right now is turn the left shoulder even more until the left shoulder blade faces forward. Okay, if you're struggling with that, have your coach program for you to even turn so they can see more of your back. Okay, it's very rare that a coach will tell a player, you're turning too much, all right? But I want you to be the first person that I've coached to actually turn too much. That would be a great thing for you to do right now, okay? So you split step, elbows up, I'm turning the shoulders and elbowing someone behind me, okay? And now, that's kind of step one, okay? I'm here, elbows up, I'm turned, and I'm going chin to shoulder, okay? So that's another cue you can work on, is going chin to shoulder facing forward, okay? Now, when you're turning, two things you need to do. Not only do you need to turn and get your left shoulder blade set with your arm here that's going to be parallel with the baseline, okay, if you're right here, all right? Not only do you need to do that, but you also need to make sure that your hips are a little bit more turned to the side instead of just facing forward, okay? If you're hitting your forehand like this, even if you turn your shoulders, you're going to get very minimal hip turn from your right hip. So if you want to use that right hip and generate force from the ground, first thing you need to do is turn your hips more sideways, okay? It's very easy to do that with a closed stance, but you need to learn how to also do that with an open stance here where you're also turning your hips and being comfortable in that lunge position, okay? Going open stance, semi-open, fully open, or even closed stance, okay? Get familiar with those, okay? Now, this is the setup. What we're just practicing now is the setup on the forehand. You split, elbows up, turn, okay? Now, what's the next step in the setup to make sure you're doing it correctly and how to avoid a major pitfall, okay? What you need to do is when you're turning, all right, let's say you're facing the side angle now. I'm facing this way. I'm going to hit my forehand like this, okay? So what you're going to do right now is, okay, you're going to go elbows up. You're going to turn, okay? You're going to turn. And you want to make sure that you have strong elbows. So what does that mean, having strong elbows? Okay, you need to make sure that your elbows aren't just flopping around like this and are very weak and loose and can move. It needs to be strong, stable, okay? Your left hand is attached to the throat of the racket, and you should have somebody push in your elbows like this, trying to push your elbows in, okay? And you need to resist it. So it's basically going to be an isometric hold for you actively engaging, okay, with your elbows to make sure it's strong and not flopping or going down or anything like that. Okay, so you split step, elbows up, turn, strong elbows, strong elbows. So when you're getting fed balls, okay, when you're practicing the technical stuff, all right, check to see if you have strong elbows. Hit a few balls, then have your coach come up to you, push in on your elbows, okay, and then see, okay, are they strong? Am I weak with it? Usually with athletes, they need that reminder of like, oh wait, now I know what it feels like. They need to resist that force initially, and then it's kind of baked into their head now, okay? Now you might need to refresh that a few times, but once you kind of do it that first time, second time, you're gonna remember when your coach tells you, keep strong elbows, okay? Very important to make sure you have a consistent and repeatable setup, okay? Which separates good forehands from great forehands, which separates players losing in the first few rounds or getting to the finals because they're consistent with their stroke mechanics, okay? So that's the setup. The setup is basically you're split stepping, you're getting your elbows up, you're turning fully, and you're getting ready so that at any given moment, you can boom, pull the trigger. You can boom, hit the forehand, okay? So if your coach tells you to set up on the forehand, you need to split step, you need to do your footwork, get in position next to the ball, okay, close to the ball, and then make sure you're fully turned, okay? There's a misconception out there, which is like you just want to time the stroke with the ball. Let's just do a big loop and time the stroke with the ball. That's not going to cut it, guys. You're going to be late to most of your shots. To hit the forehand better, okay, you want to set up as early as you can and actually get the upper body set. Most players have no clue how to actually set their body and get set on the forehand. So then they can literally just go boom and then turn and hit the forehand. Okay, so that's step one, is getting set all the way here. Okay, split, elbows up, turn, right elbow back. Okay, my elbows are up, they're not down, they're up. Okay, now, what else do you want to focus on with the setup? Make sure your right foot is pointing towards the outside instead of forward. Okay, so make sure the right foot is pointing to the outside with open stance, as opposed to being more forward, okay? It's gonna help you load your knee a lot better and get a lot more force generated without stressing that knee too much, okay? So it's a very important tip also for the lower body component, all right? Now, we're gonna focus mainly on the upper body component here to master the biomechanics, all right? So, next component, you're fully set up, you're fully turned. Split, elbows up, boom, now I'm moving. Now I'm moving, now I'm moving, now I'm moving here. Okay, now I still haven't hit the ball yet. The ball hasn't even bounced yet. Now, what are you gonna do with step two? Okay, here's what you're gonna do on the second step. Okay, you split, you get up, you turn all the way, chin to shoulder, instead of like this, chin to shoulder. Okay, now the next cue for you is the ball bounces. So until the ball bounces, you're gonna still be here. You're gonna still be here, moving. Okay. Side view before you even hit. Okay, now the ball bounces. What do you do now? Your left hand needs to stay attached to the throat of the racket, okay, until the ball bounces. Okay, very important. Stress that. Work on that. You're gonna have to work on the timing, okay, but it's gonna help you get a lot more bite and racket head speed on the ball and feel everything is more connected and easier to time eventually, okay? So, keep your left hand on the frame of the racket until the ball bounces. If you're younger and you're smaller and you're a very young athlete, you might experiment with holding the racket a little bit more over here on the frame when you're holding it. Especially little kids when they're learning, like tiny kids learning, you might even want to hold it like this because their arms and their bodies are a little bit tinier, right? But for like adults and like grown people, right, and like older kids, etc., you want to hold it at the throat of the racket. So probably for you, if you're watching this, hold it on the throat. But if you're for some reason a lot younger or you're coaching a very young kid, you can experiment with them holding it like this at the beginning. Okay, very important tip there, very nuanced tip. Now let's get back to once the ball bounces. So the ball bounces. Okay, the ball bounces. What happens now is keep the shoulder turn. Don't start moving the shoulders until I say so, okay? So the ball bounces. We're gonna pretend like the net is over here this way now, okay? So you can see the side view, all right? You're gonna split step. I can see the ball coming over here. I'm gonna hit a cross-court forehand. So I'm here, boom, I split, elbows up, turn, okay? Get the hips turned as well, okay? Now I'm moving, now I'm adjusting, okay? I made a decision, I'm gonna plant my feet now because the ball's coming and I'm ready to hit, okay? I'm here, I'm going a little semi-open, okay? Now the ball bounced. Imagine the baseline is right here, I'm turning. When I turn, I know I'm turned enough when I'm all the way back like this and my arm is past parallel, a little bit past parallel, okay? The minimum is just parallel with the turn, okay? Now, the ball bounces. You're gonna let go of the left hand and you're just going to extend this part of your arm like this. You're not gonna let go and start pointing to the ball because what happens? If you start going like this, look how my turn is already opening up. That's a very big mistake that players make. You never want to point to the ball with your offhand and your left arm. Huge mistake there. So back to facing this way. Now you're at a side angle again. Split, elbows up, turn, the ball bounces. All I'm doing is I let go of the racket with the with the left. I let go. Make sure my shoulders are turned still and keep the same turn. Ball bounces, I'm letting go. Letting go of the left hand, okay? Letting go of the throat. Now, my left hand is pointing, okay, to the right fence, okay? And my left arm is straight, not bent. It's straight. It's level. It's not pointing down. From a side view, it's not pointing down. It's level, so I'm balanced and my shoulders can be balanced, okay, which is important on all your ground strokes. But you let go and your left arm is straight and parallel with the baseline right here, keeping the shoulder turned, okay? So from the side view, now again, you're turning, you're all the way set, the ball's coming, it bounces, I let go, I'm staying turned. Notice how I'm not even really moving my right part of my arm here. All I'm doing is I'm letting go. I'm just letting go. And notice how the racket head is on the right side of my body. That's called keeping the racket on the hitting side. Okay? So when you're setting up your right arm, here's how you want that to be. So when you're fully turned, you want, and you'll face the back view here to see this clearly, okay? You're gonna split, elbows up, turn. Notice how this elbow's up and not down like this. Keep the elbow up more, okay? Now, the racket needs to stay on the right side of the body over here, okay? Now, the right elbow needs to stay up so that when you let go and the racket starts to drop, it can set to the outside this way. So if you look here, the elbow, when it's in line with the hand like this here, okay, where it's kind of almost in a straight line like this, if I'm facing this way here, look at this angle here from my elbow to my hand and wrist, okay? If you can get that almost like a straight line this way, what's gonna happen is when you let go of the racket and you stay turned, when you go to hit the ball, if your right elbow's up more, the racket is gonna fall to the hitting side. It's gonna fall to the right side over here, okay? Keep the tip of the racket up. You might have to use your wrist to keep the racket up like this instead of being floppy wristed. Keep the racket up, and you might feel it like this if you've never tried that before. Very normal, very common, okay? So turn, keep the left hand, or the right hand rather, okay, in line with the wrist and the elbow, and keep the elbow up, okay? Now from here, when the ball bounces and you turn, so the ball bounces, boom, you turn, okay? You let go of the racket once the ball bounces, you stay turned here. Now what you want to do is you literally only want to go like this. You want to make sure the racket stays on the right side of your body. your racket is going to set to around 45-degree angle in line with your body here. Okay, so it's not straight out this way. It's not straight to the back fence. It's going to be a 45-degree angle where you're going to feel like you're just basically straightening your elbow and you're almost like punching to the corner here. So you're turned and you're almost like punching to the side here. You're almost like kind of punching to the side here. All right, now from there, what you want to do is you're going to not only go to the side by extending the elbow, but you're actually going to go down a little bit like this with your hand, like this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you're going to turn, you're going to go all the way back. You're going to let go once the ball bounces, and then once the ball bounces, you're going to set the racket to the right. Okay, you're going to set the racket to the right. Your hand is going to be right around your hip level, your hip height. You don't want it to be too high up here. Okay, when you're setting the racket, you want it to be set right around your right hip height, maybe even a little bit below, especially as you bend your knees more. Okay, now, after you do that and you set the racket more to the right, here's what you're going to do. Okay, you're going to tap down with the butt cap. Imagine there's a dog right here. Okay, all you're going to do is this. Most people don't understand how to tap correctly and they miscue the tap. All right, I've been certified by Rick Macy as a director at his academy, and I've learned from the best technical coach of all time how to do the technique correctly. And I've learned for myself also how to do it. Okay, and for hundreds of students in person and hundreds online as well. Okay, so turn all the way. Now, you're going to let the ball bounce. The ball bounces. You let go. You stay turned. As you're staying turned, you're going to time the tap, okay, of this butt cap right here, down right on the head of whatever your favorite animal is, if it's a tiny animal. So let's just say it's a dog or a cat or whatever. Here, boom. Just a nice little tap down, hard, and stop it. Most people, when they tap all the way down and they keep it going as they go forward. Okay, that's going to be incorrect, and it's going to be very difficult to flip the racket correctly there. Okay, so now you're turned, you're going to tap, okay, elbows up, turn, ball bounces, you're letting go of the frame, and you're staying turned here. Keep the left shoulder turned, very important. Now you're going to tap. Okay, you're going to tap to the side here. From a side view, you turn and you tap while staying turned here. As this elbow extends, you're going to tap to the side, okay, while the racket head is above your wrist, like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, from there, what you're going to do is you're going to have to tap, keep the racket head above your wrist, and then you're going to pull forward, okay? Now, I'm going to explain what that means and how to do that correctly, okay? Imagine that there's a rope on the bottom of the butt cap, okay? All you're going to do is, when you're over here and then you tap, you tap, you tap, you tap. Imagine there's a rope right here. All I'm going to do is this. I'm going to pull the rope. It's straight down here. I grab the rope. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it forward like this. Down and forward like this. Here, boom, boom, boom. You're externally rotating your shoulder like this. Tap. As you push from the ground from your legs, you're going to pull in like this. You're going to pull in like this. You're going to tap hard. In the same time as you tap, you want to start the pull, okay? Now, here's your goal when you pull on the forehand. You, especially when you're learning this and building the foundations, you want to apply this, okay? For some more advanced players, you might have to kind of skip through certain parts because maybe you already have the pull and the roll, right? But I'm going to break down every step for you so it's very clear. You can go back in and check, all right? So, you turn all the way, you let go, you stay turned. All right, I'm facing this way now. Boom, tap, tap. Now once I'm tapping, now I have permission right at that same time to push from the ground, push from my legs, okay? And all the turn I did with my hip and my shoulders, all right, I'm gonna counter rotate that back now, okay? So I'm here, I'm turned, ball bounces, I let go. Now I'm starting to go to the ball. I push from the ground, okay, as I tap, and then I turn my hips and push from the ground. Now that turn, that motion, turning my body like this. Notice how I'm turning my body from the lower body, from the hips. And then I'm turning my torso here. So you're gonna tap, and then I want you to get the arm and the racket to come forward by doing this, which is you're gonna turn your hips to get the arm to come forward. To keep it simple, you're going to tap and you're going to get the racket to come forward, okay, by turning your body and not by getting your arm to come through like this. I want you to keep it connected with your body. That's how you're going to feel a lot stronger on your ground stroke, on your forehand, okay? So you turn, you tap, you push from the ground, boom, I flip the racket. So you're seeing from the side view right now, where are my strings facing? Test for you now. Turn, tap, pull, pull, pull. The strings are facing the side fence. So if I'm pulling like this, I would be pulling, and notice that my elbow is more straight now, okay? It's a longer lever, okay? And the strings are facing the right side of the fence. Now the stroke's not done yet. This is just the beginning of it. So turn, tap, pull. I'm externally rotating the shoulder. Now I'm all the way down here, okay? Now as I'm pulling, you're gonna turn your hips, your right hip specifically, squeeze your right glute muscle, turn the other way. Now you're externally rotated. You're firing your right hip. You're firing your right hip. You're firing your right hip as you're externally rotating. Now the strings, like we just talked about, are facing the side fence now. So I need you to keep pulling forward, and as you pull, once you get to the bottom of the pool, fully externally rotated here, you're going to roll like this the other way. Roll like this the other way. So this is the other motion you have to get better at and more confident with, is rolling like this with the elbow more straight. And eventually it's going to be like this, where it's a little bent, and you can even kind of straighten it as you go through contact. Okay, very important tip there. Here, tap, pull, okay, and then you're going to roll, and eventually you're going to flow the tap, the pull, and the roll in one motion. Because when you see pros, it's not like they're doing segmented steps, okay? But when you're learning and you're establishing the foundations, oftentimes it helps a lot to understand what's actually going on, master the steps, and then once you master the steps, now let's flow it together. Now let's make it like butter. Now let's make it really smooth, okay? And as you do more drills like short court, feeling the ball, angles, right? You'll improve that feel and kind of flow everything together with timing, all right? But that's for a separate video. For this, I just care about the biomechanics, okay? So you're here, you turned, you split, elbows up, turn all the way, ball bounces, right foot pointing to the right, okay? The ball bounces, I stay turned, I let go. Now, all I'm gonna do from here is, I'm gonna tap to the right, I'm going to fire my hips, boom. I'm gonna pull, I'm gonna keep my head still because my shoulders were turned enough, and I'm gonna pull and roll in one motion, okay? And you wanna finish right here. As a general rule for finishing, there's different types of finishes you can do, and I'm gonna make a video that breaks down the exact different ways that you can finish on the forehand, going up here, across, and the corrective techniques on like kind of why you would ever do those, okay? But for right now, I want you to keep a very simple follow through right now, where you're here at contact, you're rolling, you're turning the doorknob. Keep the hand on the right side of your body longer. Keep the hand on your right side of your body as you're rolling, so you don't just collapse over here so quickly with your left. Okay, so that's a very kind of nuanced point, but it's helped a ton of my students over the years develop like killer forehands as well. Okay, so I want you to try that as well for yourself. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is going to be you're at contact, you're following through, and you're going to finish right here, okay, right on your left deltoid here, okay, either with the racket or the grip, okay, being here, arranged like this, okay. Now, you don't want to get this elbow too high up like this, okay, you might impinge your shoulder. So if you've had shoulder issues, be careful with that, all right. Keep this elbow down a little bit and don't follow through so crazy up like this. Keep this elbow down a little more and follow through here, especially if you want to kind of consider your shoulder health as well, okay. Now, that's kind of the follow through, all right. Now, those are kind of the main components of the forehand, okay. But like, let's talk like some other big ticket items that you need to focus on in the forehand, okay. Make sure checkpoint wise, your shoulders are turned enough. Make sure your left arm is up and parallel with the baseline, all right. Make sure that your racket stays on the right side of your body instead of going back all the way to China, all right. We want the racket to stay in Boca Raton, Florida. We don't want the racket to go to China right now, all right. Shout out China, but we want the racket to stay here locally in Boca Raton, Florida, all right. So when you're practicing, focus on those components, okay. Now, all right, so we broke down basically all of the biomechanical components of the forehand, okay? Now, I'm gonna make additional videos that break down kind of the next steps for you, all right? But the last thing that I want to break down is for the more advanced players who you already probably have a decent forehand, all right? But you're just looking to see, okay, how can I apply this modern stuff to my current forehand, all right? If you already have like kind of a smooth, solid forehand already, this is what you specifically are going to apply, okay? Everything I just broke down for you is gonna work for you, it's gonna help you tremendously, okay? But let's say you've just spent, 15 years developing some type of stroke, right, on the forehand, and you want to kind of apply this to you right now. Here's what you're gonna focus on. All you're gonna do is this. You turn, you keep the left hand on the racket, okay? You turn your shoulders enough because you're probably not doing that. And all you're gonna do is this. The ball bounces, you let go of the racket, you keep your left arm across or even more pointed back. Now, you're not gonna move the right arm at all once the ball bounces. So let's say it's a side view now, split step, elbows up, turn, okay? All you're gonna focus on for that kind of more advanced player is this, okay? Ball bounces, I let go here. Let's just say I step into this one like this, close stance. All I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna let go and I'm gonna just go forward from wherever this is here. So if you're a little bit more back like this, facing the back fence, if you're a little bit more close in, I don't really care, okay? But wherever you are, make sure you're fully turned all the way back. Make sure from a side view, you're fully turned all the way back with the spacing in your elbow like this, and make sure that this is kind of connected and lined up like this, straight, so that you can set the racket to the right side when you do what I'm about to explain, okay? All you're gonna do is, the ball bounces, you let go, and all you do is just go forward. Just go forward to the ball. Just go forward to the ball. So you turn, the ball bounces, you let go. All you're gonna do is, boom, you let go, and then just swing forward from there. Let go, stay turned. When you're ready to go to the ball, just swing forward from the front view. Turn, the ball bounces, just swing forward. Turn, ball bounces, just swing forward and turn your body this way and turn your hips, okay? So when you're first applying this, if you already have like pretty good foundations of technique, but you're just trying to optimize a few things here and there, what I want you to do is focus on that last thing I just broke down, where you're just focusing on the left arm component, the shoulder turn, the elbow spacing here, getting the elbow strong, and kind of everything I said at the beginning, okay? But then after that, you don't need to really focus on all the tapping, the pulling, the rolling, all of that stuff. That's gonna help you a lot if you wanna hit it kind of like the right way, like the best way, all right? But if you just want kind of like quick results from the forehand without kind of working on all of that stuff for like a few weeks, few months, whatever, I want you to apply that like immediately, okay? Now, from there, okay, after you've kind of started correcting like the big biomechanical things like the shoulder turn, right? Like some of the leg stuff, the hip stuff, that's basically the same for like every single pro who has like good technique, okay? After you do that, I want you to work with either me or your local coach, whoever you're working with, whoever you signed up with, okay? And then you're gonna work on the nuanced points, okay, of the forehand and the additional kind of tips and tricks that I broke down, but we need to customize it for your game specifically, right? Because you're an individual, okay? You're not gonna hit the ball the exact same way as I am. You're not gonna hit the ball the same way as someone else, right? Your arms are different lengths, right? Your body's a different length, your racket might be a different length, right? So I want you to take all these principles and you can literally apply everything to your game right now and start getting better. Literally right now today, guys, okay? Now, from there, communicate with me, communicate with your own local coach, okay, whoever signed you up, whoever your online coach is, okay? And you're going to make sure that you're sending them videos every day, ideally, so that you can work on that feedback and get feedback quickly every day on your stroke, okay? Now, here's the best part. You can apply everything I just broke down for you every day when you're working on your own forehand, on your own even. So all you need is someone to just feed you balls, a bucket of balls that you can even feed to yourself to work on this stuff, okay? And you're going to start making these corrections. Now, here's what I recommend for you. Focus on one thing that you're fixing at a time, okay? At the beginning, yes, you might have to work on a few things to just get everything kind of started in the right foundations set, okay? Especially if you're like a beginner, all right? But once you kind of get the feel of like the basic stuff, all right, and like the shoulder turn and the left arm staying up and all of that, I want you guys to focus on having one specific objective technically, okay, to work on the forehand when you're practicing it. And then you work on that for a little bit of time, check in with me, check in with your coaches, right? And then we can kind of break down for you when you should progress to the next thing, okay? And then that's when utilizing and leveraging your coaches, me and your other coaches, is gonna be a game changer for you, because you also wanna have an expert see, okay, there's all these 20, 50 different things that you need to change on your forehand, but what should I change like now? What should be the first thing that I should change? Okay, so if you want to kind of apply it from an expert's point of view as well, I highly recommend consult with your coach, send them your videos in the feedback loop, okay, and keep that process rolling. That's how you'll make the most improvement, all right? I'm going to break down a ton of videos and a ton of drills of like what you can do to improve, live ball, fed ball, zone work, literally everything. So let me know if this helps, guys. I hope this provided a ton of value from you. If you can literally apply everything I just broke down for you in this video, all right, you're going to be miles ahead of the competition, okay? Because most people don't understand these little nuanced points, okay, or even the basic stuff, okay? And last thing I'm going to break down for you, make sure you turn your shoulders more. Make sure you turn your shoulders more. That's the most common by far mistake that you can correct right now. And do video feedback for yourself to make sure you're turning enough, okay? Now, with that being said, I hope this video provided a tremendous amount of value to you and to your players, okay, and to your coaches. And I'm here for you guys, so reach out, be active in the community, okay? And if you need any help with anything, we're here for you guys, all right? So that was the Forehand Technical Foundations video for you, all right? Hope that helped. Any questions, let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one.